Motofog is playing a vital role in Brazil's fight against malaria and dengue fever. In a city where many homes aren't accessible to larger vehicles, it's helping to keep down the population of mosquitoes that carry these deadly diseases. In this suburban neighbourhood in the north of Rio, the disease that mosquitoes are spreading is dengue fever. The virus has become a huge problem in certain parts of Brazil, where 1 in 10 municipalities have seen epidemics this year. I meet Marcos, who's suspected of having the disease.
I ache all over my body and my head. We really need the authorities to come to this community because it's infested with dengue mosquitoes. A motorbike mounted fogger would be great for these areas the cars cannot get into.
And he's not the only one who's been affected. The mosquitoes are everywhere after the rainy season caused the rivers to burst their banks and flood the area.
I got dengue when we were last flooded here. Over the last 3 years I've had dengue and so have my children. Luckily, not the hemorrhagic form, but this is happening all the time, unfortunately.
These residents believe Motofog could help them. As it's based on the humble motorcycle, this system is ideal for use in countries such as Brazil, where some of the areas most affected by diseases such as dengue and malaria cannot be reached by car. I've come here to meet Marcius, who invented the system that fixes to the back of a motorcycle.
The first benefits compare Motofog to car is that Motofog can reach some place the car is not able to go. So the Motofog can go to favelas, slum, alleys, and areas that are difficult to access.
Marcius explains how the motorcycle's engine actually vaporizes the insecticide. The small release port for the fog means the motorcycle can target sites more accurately, like these areas of refuse that are at high risk of creating accumulations of water, which act as the mosquitoes' breeding grounds. Although it's only a small part of much wider efforts to control malaria, Motofog is proving invaluable to the efforts to control mosquito-borne diseases in Brazil.
Here in Rio, we used to use a jeep to control the mosquito, which fired out a jet of smoke. But of course, it didn't go up the hills and into the communities. I really liked the idea, as it could go to places the car couldn't. I have a granddaughter who got dengue, for example, and I'm certain if we'd had this service, she wouldn't have got it.
Communities elsewhere in Rio and in other Brazilian states have seen the benefits the Motofog services have brought. But these residents in the north of Rio say their area has been overlooked and are crying out for something like Motofog to come their way.
We have had people in the area, including this girl down here, who have had dengue. The authorities need to come around here after the floods and put a stop to this before it gets worse. We'd prefer this motorbike as it can get into the little tight roads and alleyways.
Motofog isn't by itself a magic fix, but it is an innovative idea that's proving to be an effective tool in combating some of the world's worst diseases. Ben Tavener, BBC World News, Rio de Janeiro.